Hi, I'm Danny Elfman from the band Oingo Boingo.
This is Michael Jackson of the Jackson 5.
This is Charlie Daniels of the Charlie Daniels Band.
Hello, it's Paul Williams.
This is Aurelio Voltaire, and you're listening to the Sounds of Halloween
Podcast.
Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and welcome to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. If you're new to this podcast, I want to start by saying thanks for joining us. If you're not new, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Now, to avoid any confusion, I want to start off by saying there won't be any music played here. This is a place for conversation. I'll talk about Christmas music and some related topics, sometimes by myself and sometimes with guests. If you're looking for music, just go to soundsofchristmas.com and click on the tree or the player on the front page or on the Listen Now page. We play the best variety of Christmas music all year long. Well, except in October, when we play the best variety of Halloween music. And we are in the midst of the Sounds of Halloween now, where we're playing just Halloween music through the end of the month. And one of the most asked questions I get this time of year is, what is Halloween music? So rather than my explaining it, which I think I've done on a recent episode, I thought I'd invite some people on who love Christmas, but also love Halloween, because I think most of us fall into that boat, and talk about our favorite Halloween songs. And I had several people who wanted to do this, so this is part one, and I'll revisit this in the next episode with a couple other people. And at least, actually, what you'll get is a nice list of Halloween songs, and you can make your own playlist, because I can't guarantee, I don't know what's on there, so I can't guarantee that I'm playing them. For the ones I don't have, I will probably try and track down. But anyway, very excited to have Gerry D from Totally Rad Christmas and Robert from Behind the Bells on. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah, more than happy to be here.
Before we jump into this, how about each of you talk a little bit about yourselves and your podcast and that kind of thing. Gerry, you want to go first?
Sure. Totally Rad Christmas. It's all about Christmas in the 80s. And when I say Christmas, I mean anything. So we talk about movies, TV shows, specials. We also talk about music. And Ken, you've been on to talk about some of those overlaps where there's TV shows about music. I talk about magazines, books, fashion, food I've covered, just anything that has to do with Christmas in the 80s. It's pretty much where you can find me at totallyradchristmas.com and anywhere you get your podcasts. Also in October, I usually do Totally Rad Halloween, where I release not only a Christmas episode each week, but also a Halloween episode.
At what point do you start to regret making that choice?
It happened my very first season. And after that, I just said, well, I set a precedent. I got to keep it up.
Got to keep it up.
So
yeah,
constant.
I get it. Robert?
Okay. Well, I am the host of the Behind the Bells podcast, which essentially goes into the behind the scenes stories about the making of classic Christmas specials or Christmas TV specials. And we essentially find out whose idea it was to begin with and use that narrative to help find out how it went from that to writing, to getting approved, to the overall shooting of it, and how it was eventually received later on. And I've done my fair share of covering a lot of the classics like Elf. I've covered Home Alone. I've even covered Ernest Saves Christmas, and they all had phenomenal stories. And anyway, for this month, I'm actually going to be covering a Halloween special that I don't want to give away just yet, but I'm very excited about that and should be released right in time for the season. And even though I tend to cover primarily Christmas stuff, if another holiday is irking to me, then yeah, I will come to that and try to do a special around that. And anyway, you can find me on the behindthebells.com website. My podcast is also available to listen to on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you do get your podcasts.
And I'll put links to both your websites down in the show notes. And I'm guessing from your websites, people can go to all the other places.
Mm-hmm. Yep, all the socials, everything there.
So how difficult was it to come up with a list of Halloween songs?
Well, I will say that I have done an episode on my top 10 overlooked Halloween songs, even though there was a little bit of a cheat because a lot of them were villain songs. And essentially, for a Halloween list, I really wanted to meet my goal of songs that I consider more Halloween than others, which essentially means not a villain song and certainly not a song that doesn't necessarily have to be like all Halloween themed, but just something that sounds, at least to me, within the more part spooky, but something that I can listen to over and over without getting sick of it.
How about you, Jerry? Was it hard?
It was hard narrowing it down. So about 3 years ago or so, Vinny Brzezinski, frequent guest on the show, and we actually just made a list of Halloween songs. We just kept going back and forth and trying to see if we could who could have the final say. And so I picked a lot from there. There were some others that I've learned since then, and I do have like a Halloween playlist, and it's not strictly 80s. It's just everything. But no, there's a lot that I really enjoy, and so some of these are more just horror themed songs on my list that are my favorites, but they kind of, I mean, they mostly count for Halloween because that's when I listen to them for me. So
See, I feel like that's really the thing about Halloween music and Christmas music too. If it evokes that sort of feeling,
right,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
it counts. Then
yeah,
it counts. Everybody doesn't have to agree. Everybody doesn't have to agree that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, that kind of
right,
thing. You don't
exactly.
have to. But if it is to you, that's good enough. I don't
Mm.
know with mine. I tried not to make mine too esoteric,
Right, I understand.
but I didn't want to just go, oh, the Monster Mash. Uh, I
Well,
didn't want, and and as far as the Monster Mash goes, Vincent Price did a really cool version of the Monster Mash.
So
So
did the Misfits. I was into the Misfits version of, of Monster
yeah,
Mash as well.
there are so many, just about any any Halloween song or Christmas song that you like, there are probably multiple versions of it out there.
Right.
yeah, I mean,
I was,
that's why I typically say that even though I understand not trying to go for the standard set of songs, I will say that there's a reason a lot of these songs do pop up on a lot of lists.
yeah,
Very
And
true. Very
it's one of those
true.
things where nobody should really be ashamed if something that
right,
is popular is a song you like.
right.
Yeah.
Jerry and I earlier had talked about the song Thriller,
Mhm.
Michael Jackson, which is probably, and I
Right.
don't mean to take it from anybody if it's on your list, but that's certainly a very popular song,
Right.
and
Yeah.
a lot of people will have that. There are several versions of it, but Michael Jackson is the
Right.
That's true.
it's the go-to
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Anybody else's is an homage to that,
Yeah.
or
It's just not the same.
it's not. There are probably not a lot of people who will say, "Oh, Thriller, I love that version that Wayne Brady sings with the postmodern jukebox." There probably aren't a lot of people that I play a lot of versions because I think it's kind of cool when it comes up and you hear it and you're like, why do I know all the words to this song?
Right.
Oh my God, this is Thriller.
For sure.
I mean, I play Michael Jackson's version too, and probably
Right.
more, but every once in a while. One of the ones in my list I found out tonight, just prior to this recording, that somebody else, one person has made a cover of it. And I
Oh,
was really kind of surprised. So
Interesting.
there's a tease for when we get down. I know there's not really any criteria as far as 10 to 1, but let's sort of just go round and round with our
sure.
songs. If you have something that you want to say about it, that's cool too. Robert, you want to kick things off?
Absolutely. So I will go ahead and start with my number 10 song, which, to be fair, is often on a lot of other lists, at least as more recently. But my number 10 is Dracula by Rob Zombie.
I almost picked that.
I did too.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I will say that the reason that one comes up on my list, well, first of all, any song that's a shout out to the Munsters,
Yeah.
I'm always going to support any song that makes people remember the Munsters. And number two, every time I hear that song, that just brings me back to the days of as a teenager going to the haunts and just waiting outside, about to go in and hearing occasional rock songs. But then all of a sudden, Dracula will always play. And something about that just really just brings back that excitement of going into those haunts.
For sure.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
and the video also is very, there's monsters in the video, and it's
Yeah.
got those like 90s like psychedelic colors. I mean, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that we probably would eventually see in the Rob Zombie Monsters movie, which
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to get into that discussion, but I will say that the song itself is just a fantastic little tribute to the old great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Gerry, how about you?
So, oh gosh, there's so many. I don't know which to choose. I couldn't narrow it down. So, I'm going to start with Fright Night by Jay Giles Band. So, this is from the movie Fright Night. And I got to say, I usually only watch Fright Night at Halloween time. It's a vampire movie. It's classic of the 80s. There's imagery in there that everybody thinks of when they think of vampire movies. And so this song, it's another one of those weird 80s songs that is just fun, but like doesn't really belong like thematically. You would expect something like in a minor key, something maybe a little spookier and heavier, but it's just kind of a fun up-tempo song with synthesizer, and it's sung by, I mean, it's the Jay Giles Band. So yeah. When I think
love that
vampires, I
song.
think synthesizer.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of near the end for the Jay Giles Band. Peter Wolf, who's the voice of it, left after that. And because it was a single, it's nowhere. You can't nowhere on streaming.
Mm-mm.
You can't get it right now. I know people have uploaded it to YouTube, so
Mm-mm.
you can find it there. But if
Yeah.
anybody connected to the Jay Giles Band and their catalog is listening, put out a best of and add that as a track.
Yes, please,
Please,
because you
please.
have to buy the soundtrack in order to own the song, and then you have to digitize it yourself, and
Yeah.
or you have to go through YouTube and other means. So yes, please. I mean, I would pay money for that.
Okay. My number 10, I guess it's number 10. The Dickies, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh,
yeah.
I almost picked that. That's
I just-
amazing.
I love this song. I love
Yeah.
that really bad movie.
Yes.
It's just that is just Halloween, and this song with the electric guitars doing the kind of like the Ringling Brothers circus music. It's just wonderful, and it just sounds like Halloween to me. And the premise, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's terrific. It's right up there with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It's just wonderful.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Robert, what's next for you?
Well, I guess we can continue on with this conversation because I actually also named Killer Clowns by the Dickies. Here's what I will add. The song came out, in addition to the movie, came out at that time where it wasn't just that and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes had also been released before, but a lot of other, but that was also that time when a few other monsters were trying to make that comeback, like how we got that Blob remake.
The
as
Blob.
well.
Oh, there's some
Yeah.
good music there too.
And I was at around that time when we were trying to get that same B movie vibe on a much bigger budget, and something like Killer Clowns from Outer Space really knew how to exactly be those kinds of old school sci-fi movies while having a lot of fun with it. On top of that, with having just the amazing effects by the guys. What was the name of the guys who did it? I mean, they were the same guys who did the trolls for Ernest Scared Stupid. Oh,
I don't remember.
well,
And,
but
just went out of my head.
But
It's not
anyway,
Stan Winston, right?
nope. I don't
No.
think they can afford him at that point. But
That's
otherwise,
probably true.
I will say that they do actually reference P.T. Barnum in the first lyric of
Yeah.
the entire song. And plus, I just love how they go into that electric guitar solo, which really gets in that circus sound, which essentially to me adds on to the film's fun factor.
Oh yeah. It was, and to see, wow, I can't remember the actor's name either, but the guy who played Dean Wormer in Animal House, that he is,
Oh yeah, when he's like the
Yeah.
puppet,
yeah,
he's like a
um,
ventriloquist dummy.
yeah. But just that he was, before the clowns are everywhere, when they're
Right.
trying to get the police to help. And I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody, but
This 40-year-old
that
movie.
he's,
You had 40 years to watch it.
yeah, that he's the, I don't know if he was the sheriff or
I
if
think he
they
was the
ever really
sheriff. Yeah.
said, but that he's there and he's still absolutely the same kind of character as Dean Wormer. And just to see him again to pop up in this movie, it was just hilarious, I thought. Gerry, what's next for you?
All right. Feed My Frankenstein by Alice Cooper.
Nice.
Ooh.
This is I remember first seeing this in Wayne's World. It might have been, yeah, Wayne's World. I think it was the first one. And yeah, I was like, this song rules. It's just, to feed my Frankenstein. It's just so cool. Definitely gives me Halloween vibes. I only listen to it at Halloween time, but I mean, Alice Cooper already has that presence and that persona of spooky and scary. So, yeah, this is a fun song.
My next one is from a guy named Jonathan Colton. Do you guys, either of you guys know who he is? Knows
Ooh,
it? Okay.
Actually, I don't
sounds
think I know that name.
sounds familiar, but I can't.
He had two songs, but that almost got into my list, and I thought, okay, that's not really fair. So I picked the one that I like the best, and it's called "Are Your Brains?" And this song is like memos, office memos to the one guy who's still in the office, barricaded in, who is not a zombie yet, and the guy who's narrating and singing this is sending him these messages. Hey, how are you doing? Why don't you just let us in? You're gonna run out of food. All this stuff, and all we want to do is eat your brains. We're not unreasonable. I mean, no one's gonna eat your eyes. And it's just really kind of unexpected, and it's just very entertaining, and there just aren't that many entertaining zombie songs. So so that's my number 9. Next on your list, Robert?
Okay, so we're gonna go a little further back in time with this one, and while it may not be as like dance heavy as some of the other ones, and I got a few of these on my list, but my next one is actually going to be the Headless Horseman song by Bing Crosby, which was sung for
Oh yeah,
the Disney
yeah.
movie.
Love that.
Classic.
Which I mean, I love pointing out to people that essentially the whole thing is practically narrated by Bing, which in a way almost feels like something that was conjured up by marketing at the time period. But the whole thing works. But then once we get to the actual song itself, to me, just has that perfect like sitting around a fire around someone's house as they're telling a little bit of a story, and just the way Bing is just singing it, it just really sounds like he's not just singing a song. He's actually trying to tell a ghost story of just trying to get that little edge in there so that you at least feel like you don't want to step outside after doing so, even though it is still an entertaining song with the chorus in the background.
But there is a little bit of cognitive dissonance, right? Because it's Bing Crosby who like your brain associates so much with Christmas and coziness that it's that sometimes it's like, wait, what's going on? What's he doing here? But I think that's what makes it work.
What? Did he just say he's looking for a top to chop?
That's right.
I'm glad to see that the song is at least getting some discovery now that I've seen it a little more available, and I've even seen a few covers of it, primarily within the online space.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that one we're gonna hear about that one again.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Jerry, what's next for you?
Trick or Treat by Fastway. This is
Nice.
from the movie Trick or Treat, which I believe was 85 or 86. The whole thing is on Halloween night. This dead rock star is it's like this album that he left behind. It was unreleased, and so a friend DJ of his is going to play it backwards on Halloween. And whenever you play it backwards, his spirit actually returns from the grave to get revenge on people he thought wronged him in life. So it's a fun song. The band is Fastway that plays it. In the movie, the artist's name is Sammy Kerr, but it's another up tempo. It's that 80s glam kind of metal, so it's a little bit thrashy, but not really. There's a nice just medium tempo beat to it, and yeah, it's another just great fun song.
Nice. My next one, and I want to preface this by saying I'm not trying to appear cool or that I know so much more than anybody else, but there is this group on that has a YouTube channel called Shipwrecked. They're not a band. They do not quite movies, but they do series. They did a 10-part series, I think it was 10 parts, a couple of years ago called Headless. That was an updated story about the Headless Horseman. This particular song is called Friends Till the End, Dracula Song. Dylan Gladhorn, Mary Kate Wiles, and Sinead Persaid. And this is like the story of Dracula, the original novel, is all letters back and forth.
Right.
This song is like letters between Lucy and Nina going back and forth. And she's telling him all these great things about this guy that she met who lives in a castle and he turned into a bat. And she's like, wait, what? What are and she just keeps going
Hold
on
up.
and on. Are
Hold
we
up.
just gonna sort of skip the bat part? And it's done so well, and they just go back and forth until the end. I don't want to spoil it, but it is Friends Till the End is streaming, and you can also watch the very clever video on YouTube. I'm not making any money off this, but
I'm gonna have
it's
to look that up later.
I know.
Yeah.
It sounds that's fun.
it's really funny. So anyhow, so that's my next one. Robert, what's next on your list?
Okay, well, this should probably reveal just how old I am, considering my next choice. But let's just say that we're picking up something from my childhood nostalgia here with It's Terror Time Again by Sky Cycle, which was used for the animated Scooby-Doo movie on Zombie Island. Yeah, it's a very 2000s punk rock song that plays as soon as the zombies first show up and Scooby and Shaggy are trying to run them from them all as they're all separated from the rest of the gang.
Yeah, zombies for sure.
Yeah, and even then, it still has that same like really heavy rock motif that just sounds really exciting for the night. Like you're about to be chased by monsters in a more fun way. And
man, I don't remember this, and I've seen it. I don't remember the song. I'm gonna have to go back and watch so I can.
Yeah, I need to go seek that one out too.
And have you guys actually seen Zombie Island?
I have, but it's like when it came out. Yeah.
Okay, well, they got released around the late '90s as I was growing up. So yeah, I was a kid at that time, and listening to that song as an adult, it still is awesome.
That's what's so great about so many of these. It's not that they're necessarily better than songs that anybody who's listening might come up with. It's just that they're songs that take you back to that and give you that sort of Halloween feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I feel like with the holidays, regardless if it's Christmas or Halloween, a lot of it is very nostalgia based on what gave us those warm memories.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. Jerry, what's next on your list?
Well, I'm going to continue with my 80s vampire movie theme songs, and I'm going to go with Lost in the Shadows by Lou Gramm. This is from the movie The Lost Boys.
Ooh.
And it is Lou Graham, of course, from was a Foreigner.
Yeah.
And this is when they had broken up. He's now on his own. It's the song itself is like 7 or 8 minutes long. It's very repetitive, but something about its repetition with its heavy backbeat, it's almost hypnotic. And of course, being associated with one of the I don't know, the most I don't know, the coolest, I'll say the coolest vampire kids of the time. I mean, it's something about it. It definitely puts me into the Halloween spirit.
Nice. My next one is from a 70s horror movie called The Phantom of the Paradise. I don't know if this was like out in theaters or if this was a TV movie, but Paul Williams did the music for it. And
Oh,
the song that is on my list is called The Hell of It. And the the
nice.
the line that I just love is, and though your music lingers on, all of us are glad you're gone.
I love Paul Williams.
Yeah.
His stuff is great.
I have heard all the songs on this soundtrack, but I have never seen this movie. I don't know if it's streaming. I haven't been able to find it the few times I remember to look for it. So I don't know. But the soundtrack is streaming. So you can find Paul Williams and Phantom of the Paradise
That's cool.
Yeah.
just about anywhere. Robert, what's next for you?
Okay, so we are going to get something that usually does pop up on a lot of lists, but it's something that really puts me into that Halloween spirit, even if it's also a reference to a specific monster, despite not being a song associated with the movies. I'm picking A Nightmare on My Street by DJ Zazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. A whole song about Freddy Krueger, even though the song itself was never associated with any of the
Right.
Nightmare movies at all.
Right.
Right.
Just to get that whole like not 90s hip hop beat that just plays and just still has that creepy sound. And I mean,
DJ Jazzy Jeff.
we're never going to get another song of Will Smith rapping about Freddy
Freddy
Krueger.
Krueger. Probably not.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. You're probably right about that.
And at that point, I don't even know the song itself is technically a bad song. I guess you could call this a major guilty pleasure as well.
We all have them.
Well, I mean, if
Yeah,
people
the-
people like that song, Venom by Eminem. I'm sure there's a fan base around A Nightmare on My Street, and enough of it to be put on various Halloween playlists.
the funny thing about that one, and I'm sure it's because of the rapping, it makes me think a little bit of Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC, in that when it came out, it was a novelty, but it didn't really get a lot of airplay, a lot of attention. But after, I don't know, 5-10 years, it starts popping up, and now it's probably more popular than it ever was.
Probably. I mean, now that I've seen entire light displays of the Christmas in Hollis song,
Yeah.
I'm still seeing if any of my neighbors actually do incorporate A Nightmare on My Street within their Halloween light display.
Jerry, what's next for you?
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with my 80s vampire movies theme, and this is Once Bitten by Three Speed. So, Three Speed was an extraordinarily short-lived group from the 80s. They had a few songs like on soundtracks. Like they had a song for the movie Rad. They had the theme song to Once Bitten, which was the Jim Carrey movie, where
yeah.
he's a teenager, he's a high school kid, and a lady vampire tries to get him. She has to bite him 3 times before Halloween night. Otherwise, she ages like significantly. And so in order to prevent that, she goes after him, and his friends and his girlfriend try to stop him. And spoiler alert, they succeed. But the song it's another really great song. And I wish Three Speed had done like so much more, because I love this song. I love their song Wind Me Up from the Rad soundtrack. Like they're just really cool songs, and nobody knows them. And if you say Three Speed, they look at you like you're crazy. But yeah, for sure. Once Bitten by Three Speed.
Good choice.
Okay, my next one is kind of a cheat because it's really 2 songs, but it's the same. It's the same guys. It's the Mystery Science Theater 3000 riff tracks, guys. And the first one is Every Country Has a Monster. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They go through sort of in rap all these, 3.5 minutes worth of countries and a monster that country is known for. And it's entertaining, possibly educational. I mean, I didn't never look up to see if there are any of these actual monsters, but it's very clever, and I just love it. The other one by these guys that I like a lot is called Sparkly Vampires. And it's
I
just
assume that's
taking,
new Twilight, I guess.
yes, it's just taking shots at those guys.
That's like an
just
easy.
want to be your friend.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Robert, what's next for you?
Okay, so with this one, I gotta also go back to another 80s movie, except this is another song that doesn't even really get played on the radio that often, but it to me is just so Halloween. And it's specifically the Silver Shamrock commercial from John Carpenter's Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, super
And even
catchy
though
little jingle. Yeah.
And even though it's just simply a redone version of London Bridge is Falling Down, it perfectly cements in those old little commercial jingles, even though for those that haven't seen the movie are not aware of the incredibly dark intentions behind the Silver Shamrock Company and how they're hoping to use this song to just lure in all these kids come Halloween night.
It's funny. I've been doing this Sounds of Halloween thing on the Sounds of Christmas for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years now. And I played that song or that commercial, whatever you want to call it, the first year or two. And that's the only song I've ever played that I got people contacting me saying, I can't listen to that. I can't. I'm not supposed to. I don't think I'm supposed to. I can't listen to that.
Okay, so it looks like you hit a nerve there, a lot of people.
If you're not wearing the mask, it's okay. It's only if you're wearing the mask that your head will explode into bugs or snakes.
But yeah, I've never gotten that much feedback about one particular song as that one. And I thought, really, that's the only Halloween movie that didn't have Mike Myers in it. I had no idea it was that popular. But
what also sounds like too that if people are essentially asking you to not play that song, I would almost think that would come off as a little bit of a dare for you to keep playing that song.
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth. I haven't played it yet this time around, but we still have more than half the month to go.
That's true.
Now, if only John Carpenter can actually do a version that does use up all 31 days throughout October, just so that anybody that wants to do the countdown can actually do the whole 17 days till Halloween, 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 something like that. I don't know.
John, if you're listening. Gerry, what's next for you?
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with Halloween by 220 Volt. 220 Volt is a Swedish band, Swedish hard rock band from the 80s. They actually have a song called Heavy Christmas, which I just did an episode. I actually reached out to the band and they responded. But they have another song called Halloween. And it's about a serial killer that strikes on Halloween. And the cops are looking for him. Like it just says like 1 or 2 missing, but no one hears the terrifying screams of pain and pleasure. Where is this man we're looking for? Listen to every step you take. Watch out, Halloween. And it's another really interesting song. It's got that same like heavy metal, like 80s metal kind of vibe, not thrashy, not like thrash metal, but like a little bit harder edged rock. So a little bit like Motley Crue, stuff like that. I like it. It's fun and it's called Halloween. So I feel like you got to think about Halloween when you hear it.
My next one is from the Ghostbusters soundtrack from the first Ghostbusters. It's the Bus Boys cleaning up the town.
Yeah.
I just
finally
a
Ghostbusters song that's not Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I just thought this was such a cool song, and I can't believe it wasn't bigger than it was. It wasn't really big at all, which is
Mhm.
unfortunate. And this is the song I had teased earlier that I've only found, and it was just before we started taping this episode, that only one other artist had done a cover of it, and that was a little over a year ago. A guy named Cole Kitzmiller did an acoustic version of Cleaning Up the Town, not acoustic, a cappella.
Oh wow.
And it's
Interesting.
yeah, and it's really good. I was really surprised that nobody else has covered this. But I don't know. I feel like it's my favorite song from Ghostbusters, but that's probably because I've heard Ghostbusters so much. It was
Yeah.
a giant hit in 1984, and it has continued to be a thing for 40 years.
Yeah.
And there's a station here that plays it not not ironically, just anytime. So in the middle of May, all of a sudden there's Ray Parker Jr. and Ghostbusters,
People like what they
which
like, I guess.
I
Yeah.
guess, but it just
I
feels like it takes a little bit of the special away
true.
when,
Yeah.
I
I
love
mean,
Saving the Day. I wish that one had gotten more play as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually, one that I do listen to a lot of is In the Name of Love by the Thompson Twins. That one I actually find it really
Oh,
catchy, even though it's just so much in the background just before the Ghostbusters go on their first call. Nobody even
right.
seems to remember that.
Yeah.
yeah. Robert, what's next for you?
Okay, so this is also another nostalgia hit with me because this song was actually introduced to me through the Grim Adventures of Bill and Mandy, but the song is called "The Land of the Dead" by Voltaire,
I don't
who
think I know
himself
that one.
has composed a lot of songs with a very Halloween feel. Because I know he uses a lot of a Romani sound with a lot of what he does. He's not even that well known of an artist, except among Halloween enthusiasts who have noticed his other songs, including The Headless Waltz and a few others. But Land of the Dead just
Hmm.
really to me combines that real haunting sound but with a beat that kind of makes me want to dance around that song.
Voltaire has, I can't believe I didn't put any of his songs in my top 10, but he has
I don't
so
think I
many
do. Yeah.
great Halloween-esque kind of songs. He's
Yeah, I mean, I almost put like three others on there, but then I thought, no, I want to give the others a chance. And there I thought there also might be a chance that either of you guys might be putting his songs on there, but I guess I was proven wrong.
I don't even know who he is.
Okay, well, that's your homework for you after this
That's a new
episode.
one to me.
yeah, look on YouTube for When You're Evil by Voltaire.
Oh, that
And
just reminds me of another one I could have added. Sorry.
all right, well, what's next on your list, Gerry?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my 80s quasi vampire movies and go with Transylvania 65000 by
Oh,
Paul, and I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's Chiten. Chitan. I don't know. My apologies, Paul. But yeah, this is the theme song to the movie with Jeff Goldblum and Ed Begley Jr. and Gina Davis. Transylvania 65000. It's so catchy that when I played it for my kids, they they wanted to hear it all the time. So it's just, Transylvania 65000. I mean, it's just it's
it is very catchy.
yeah, but then like in the background you have the synth doing almost a theremin type sound. I mean, it's great. Yeah. So I got to go with that one.
My next one is from the Plain White Tees, and as far as I can tell, this has never been released. It's called The House on Shady Lane.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
They,
Yeah.
this is probably 10 or 15 years old, and they put it out temporarily one October, and then it just disappeared. But it's a great story song, and it's really catchy. A great story song about this group of friends that go to the haunted house on Shady Lane at midnight, and bad things happen. Um,
I mean, it's almost the premise of Ray Bradbury's The Halloween Tree.
yeah, it's a real fun song, and there's versions of it that you can find on YouTube. I remember seeing a version of Plain White T's doing this in concert, and it's a very fun, upbeat, catchy kind of song that is scary, and you think it's going to have a happy ending, and spoiler, it doesn't. But it's a great song. I wish it was something that was widely released, and anybody in the Plain White Tees or connected to them who are listening, maybe you forgot about this song, but go ahead and put it out there. It's not too late. There's still half of October left.
Do you know why? Do you know why it hasn't been like officially released?
I have no idea, because they've done cover songs. They did a version of Pet Cemetery, and that's out there. They did Winter Wonderland a couple years ago, which isn't really a Halloween song, but that's out there. So any of these sort of one-offs, they have done these before, and they're available. They did Nuttin' for Christmas, but for some reason, this was just that one October, and then it went away. And this isn't a cover, as far as I can tell. It's an original, but I don't know. Robert, what's next for you?
Okay, so for number 3, I do have a Michael Jackson free song, but it's not Thriller. In fact, I actually have a song that I think is even more Halloween than Thriller, and that's his song, Is It Scary, which came from his Blood on the Dance Floor album.
Oh, yeah.
Because that has much more of a goth rock sound to it, which includes a really awesome choir, which, at least in my book, almost has Michael Jackson sounding like a member of that one rock band, Nightwish, though still infusing his R&B sound that I feel like just gives it sort of a, well, especially given how with Thriller, he's still singing it with a lot of joy. Both Is It Scary, because I know the album was produced when he was going through some not so good times. He has a little more anger as he's singing, and yet as he gets to the chorus, it really feels like he's almost embracing the idea of singing as a monster, wondering, just asking, am I scary enough for you? And I think because of that, I feel that to me just feels a little more Halloween than Thriller, even though I do love Thriller as a song itself.
Yeah, I play a couple different Michael Jackson songs, and one Jackson 5 song that obviously that aren't Thriller. There are several others, but Thriller is
it's a hard one to beat.
Yeah. Thriller's one when you ask somebody about a Michael Jackson song that you would play around Halloween, Thriller is.
Yeah. Thriller's a fun song, but
yeah,
I will still die on the hill by saying that I actually think Isn't Scary is a slightly better song than Thriller.
Okay. Gerry, what's next for you?
So this is Halloween by the band Halloween.
So is that the Nightmare Before Christmas song?
No, this is from 1986, I think, maybe something around there. They're a German power rock band. The song is about trick-or-treating and Halloween. I mean, the lyrics say things like knock on other people's door, trick or treat, they have a choice. There's a part where they talk about Charlie Brown's Halloween, waiting in the patch for the Great Pumpkin. And this song is like a 13-minute magnum opus with hints of prog rock in there. It's insane. They cut it down to a 5-minute version to play, but if you listen to the whole 13-minute song, which I think you can only get if you buy the albums, but it's it's a cool song. It goes all sorts of ranges. There's riffs galore. It makes me think of Halloween, and I only listen to it at Halloween time.
Cool. My next one is Forever Autumn. Justin Hayward, also credited sometimes to the Moody Blues, but he's the one who really sang it. It was part of Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds around 1978. And if you're not familiar with that, and you want something entertaining that's Halloweenish, you seek that out. War of the Worlds, Jeff Wayne's version. It's certainly the version from 1978 is absolutely stamped with 1970s on it, because it just feels like the 70s. He redid it 5 or 6 years ago. So there's a new version. Justin Hayward was still part of it, but everybody else is new. And my understanding is that they actually take this show on the road. Unfortunately, that road's on the other side of the Atlantic from me. But
That happens, yeah.
I'm hoping that it gets filmed and put out so that I could see the new one. I saw the original one, but War of the Worlds is about the Martians coming, and that it's all a musical. It's mostly a musical, and it's done so that it doesn't sound like something ridiculous that might have been on The Simpsons, a musical horror story.
Dr. Zayas,
But
Dr.
it's
Zayas.
done really well, and Forever Autumn is after it's that period of time after the Martians have come, and it's like an apocalypse, and everything is like it's going to be autumn forever. And it just, I mean, that whole piece of War of the Worlds is something I have to listen to every year because that is October to me.
Nice.
Yeah, good choice.
What's next on we should be down to the last two, right?
Last two, yep.
Yep.
Okay, Robert, what's next for you?
Alrighty. So with my next song, I because even though there's several covers of this specific song that are sung, because it is usually known as a theme park song, but the version that I selected that I felt was more Halloween than the other covers is the Thurl Ravenscroft cover of Grim Grinning Ghosts, which itself
Yeah.
was introduced as part of a sing-along thing on one of the Disney sing-along things that was specifically covering Disneyland. And the fact that they brought back the original Tony the Tiger actor himself, who himself was one of the singing busts on the Haunted Mansion, to actually sing the full song in his really deep bass voice, just gives it a little bit of an extra creepy vibe to it, even though it still feels just as playful as the Haunted Mansion is.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm glad to see that that there are plenty YouTube videos that just pinpoint that specific version of Grim Grinning Ghosts, considering that I don't even think the rest of the sing-along thing even gets that much play, airtime off of anything. But you almost never hear that version played anywhere else other than YouTube circles, because I'm sure Disney doesn't want that one out other than the authorized theme park version.
Yeah, that is very cool. And I just might have more to say about that in a little bit.
Really?
Gerry, what's next for you?
Okay, well, I'm going to go with another obscure song from an 80s movie. This is Big Bad Wolf by the Wolf Sisters from Teen Wolf. So you might remember this song from when they're at the dance and they're all doing the wolf dance, right? I love this song. It's another one that I only listen to at Halloween time. It makes me think my daughter for the longest time she was watching Peter and the Wolf, that old cartoon, and she got really scared of the big bad wolf. So for her, Big Bad Wolves equals terror. And so this, like, for me now, it's all kind of mixed in with Halloween. But the song's fun. There's a robot voice singing about a big bad wolf. Like, you can't get any better than that. It's it's a vocoder, so like just lots of synths. It has a nice groove to it. It's got the acoustic, or excuse me, the electric guitar with chorus, and I mean, it's just it's fun, and it's rocking, and yeah, it's great. It makes me think of a werewolf, so
Well, the two that have left, we have talked about both of them. But first, Bing Crosby, Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Absolutely makes me think of this season. Absolutely. I have watched that Disney thing so many times. And it's really cool that Bing is like you were saying, Robert, that he's narrating it. He's telling you the story. Right. And at the end, man, I got to get out of here. It's just, it's just a lot of fun. It's paired now with Mr. Toad.
Yeah, since the movie's full title was The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Oh, right.
Especially
it's
since both of those movies were initially both meant to be their own feature-length films, but due to the wartime effort and lack of animators, they had to shrink that down into an anthology, which still works as a movie on its
It
own.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But that might be if you have Disney Plus, and I'm not getting paid for these mentions. Disney Plus, YouTube, or any of this.
But you
But if
should
you
be.
Yeah, but if you have Disney Plus, you can and you want to find that it is Ichabod and Mr. Toad instead of, because I couldn't figure out why it's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Why can't I find it? Well, that's why, because I'm not
Yeah.
putting the right name in.
Right.
But it's such a great song, and it tells you the story. And watching the special is it's just Halloween. It just is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, the last one on your list, Robert.
Okay, so this one is going to be interesting because this almost works really well with the Headless Horseman song. But because it is my list, I decided to select another Disney song as my number one, and I'm serious about this. Trick or Treat by the Mellow Men, which was essentially done in that Donald Duck short where the boys were trick-or-treating and team up with a witch to get their treats from their uncle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just that fun little doo-wop, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat for Halloween. And it just feels very playful of its time, considering that even though not a lot of Halloween-esque stuff was being made at around the time that short had come out, that was essentially the Disney company really understanding how much Halloween did mean to a lot of kids at that point. And the fact that the song is played multiple times just in that short, but primarily in the middle when the kids essentially just go flying out with the witch, and the witch is using her magic powder to turn everything to life, including those little jack-o'-lanterns that are sitting on Donald Duck's porch.
Yeah, that's a really fun short. And there aren't a lot of Halloween songs that are about that shared experience of trick-or-treating.
Mm-hmm.
And that used to be most of what Halloween. Well, I don't want to get into the history of Halloween.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But
Yeah, but obviously we've grown up during that time when trick-or-treating was always such a
Trick-or-treating
big
was
part.
huge. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, and not to do any plugging or anything like that, but a novel that I am working on does actually involve turning trick-or-treating into a grand adventure.
Oh, fun.
So
cool,
I'll announce that once I'm ready to announce that.
very nice. Gerry, what's left on your list?
All right. This last song. I love this song. It's by one of the greatest composers ever, playing in his band before he became a film composer. This is Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo.
Yes.
Oh, it's on my list. Great song.
Yeah, I love this song. The riffs are great. The horn line is fantastic with their stingers. If you've ever caught a live version of it, it's like out of this world. But it's literally about going to a party with dead men, and they they talk about being in your best suit and your tie with silver dollars, around your eyes. I mean, it's or covering your eyes. It's just a great, amazing song, and Danny Elfman sings the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will say that a few years ago, I went to go see a live screening of The Nightmare Before Christmas with an orchestra, and not only was Danny Elfman there and sang some of the songs from the movie, but he also did sing "Dead Man's Party," and that itself
great.
got one of the biggest cheers I've ever seen out of the Hollywood Bowl audience. That once he just started playing those little guitars that you hear at the beginning, everybody knew what it was. They just erupted as he immediately got into it.
For sure.
All right. But otherwise, I will also add that it almost feels like that song, even though I know Danny Elfman sort of fell into a career as a film composer, it almost feels like that song almost sets himself as an audition to really showcase his style that he would bring as a composer.
Yeah, definitely. That song makes me think of two scary things, dead men and Rodney Dangerfield. So
Back to School.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I love that movie. I'm
love
just
that movie
kidding.
too.
My number one is Grim Grinning Ghosts. Thurl Ravenscroft.
Nice.
Yes.
Everything you said about his voice
Mhm.
goes. I absolutely agree with you. One of the things that I do love about this particular version that Disney had put out was that it starts like you are going on the ride.
Mhm.
And there's Thurl Ravenscroft narrating it as you enter the haunted mansion and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just great. There have been some good covers of this along the way. I like what the Bare Naked Ladies did about 20 years ago with it on one of those Disney anniversary releases, which for some reason is no longer out there. But Thurl Ravenscroft is you can't top that.
Absolutely. And I was also going to add, too, that I think that's one of the only covers of the Grim Grinning Ghost song that actually includes the little extra verse as you're exiting the ride that if you would like to join our jamboree, it's a simple rule that's compulsory. That part, and which also makes for a good closer on the Grim
Yeah.
Grinning Ghost song, as rather than ending it on Grim Grinning Ghosts, he just ends on that line. So hurry back, we would like your company.
Hurry back. Any leftovers that honorable mentions or anything like that?
I do. I have some honorable mentions. Of course, Thriller, Ghostbusters, Monster Mash, all that. But Full Moon by Elvira.
Oh,
So Wrath of the Reaper by Grim Reaper. That's another like 80s metal band. Of course, the Halloween theme by John Carpenter. I almost had to pick that as one, but I decided let's go more with songs. Psycho Killer from Talking Heads is another
nice.
Yeah.
that's on my playlist. Dream Warriors from what is it, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 by Dawkins. Dawkins sing that one. And finally, the Monster Squad Rap by the Monster Squad.
Wow. Robert, do you have any leftovers?
Actually, I do. I also have a Danny Elfman tune that's in my honorable mentions, which is the Tales from the Crypt theme, which is probably one of
Very
the
cool.
one of the very Tim Burton-y sounding ones, even though Tim Burton had nothing to do with Tales from the Crypt. But
Right.
I also included a few others, like some of the classics like Monster Mash and even the Ghostbusters theme and Thriller. But I also included Season of the Witch by Donovan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I also included another song by a band that usually wouldn't be associated with Halloween, but Witchy Woman by the Eagles.
It counts.
Nice.
Yeah, just
Yep.
and I think I like that one more for the chorus aspect than anything, but I just love how that one sounds.
Yeah.
And also capitalizing on the 70s rock vibe, I included Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon.
Love that.
Yeah, that's another one.
On my leftovers, I have one by a group called the Swinging Neckbreakers. I have no idea who they are, but the song is "No Costume, No Candy," and it
Best one yet.
that's everything you need to know about it.
Exactly.
No costume, no candy.
Perfect.
It's a hard rocking song, but that's it.
That's
I'm looking
I have
that song up as soon as we're done.
Yeah, I have Season of the Witch on mine, but I have the version by Dr. John from the Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh, wow.
Because I just thought it's so creepy.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Party, Oingo Boingo. The Devil Comes Back to Georgia. Mark O'Connor and guests. Guests are Charlie Daniels playing the fiddle and Johnny Cash narrating.
Oh,
That's awesome.
For a long time, I didn't know this was, I think, early 90s. I didn't know there was a sequel to that song.
I didn't either. Yeah.
But neither did I.
But
Wow.
now you do.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
And just for fun, Men at Work, Dr. Heckle, and Mr. Chive. They are a person who feels good to be alive.
Yeah. Nice. Goodness.
Before we wrap up, do you guys have anything you want to share about what you have coming up that you haven't already shared, Robert?
Okay, so in time for October, I'm actually going to be doing a deep dive into the 1993 adaptation of Ray Bradbury's The Halloween Tree, which I'm really excited for because there was a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that people may have not known, including how Bradbury actually started writing this special as far back as the 60s. And that was before he even wrote the book, but there'll be a lot more on that with my upcoming episode later in October. But otherwise, I've also got a full season of some more holiday episodes coming up in November and December for Behind the Bells.
Cool.
Nice.
Gerry, how about you?
I have my episode on Trick or Treat coming up. Also, crazy low budget 80s horror slasher called Bloodbeat with samurai ghosts. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I loved it. Also talking Once Bitten as well. It's just one that I had to. And then I got a lot of fun Christmas things coming up. So talking about 220 volts heavy Christmas, talking about 80s Christmas coloring books, Airwolf. There was a not quite, almost maybe barely Christmas episode of that, and Jeff Lorber's God Rest the House and things like that. So a lot of fun stuff.
Nice. And I'll put links again down in the show notes so everybody can find you. And one more plug for Disney Plus, talking about Ray Bradbury. I'm just so excited that Something Wicked This Way Comes is finally streaming.
Yes.
And
we're totally covering it next year for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been available for streaming at all. I've for the longest time, I either just had the VHS or a very out of print DVD of that movie.
Yeah.
You can find crummy copies on YouTube. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Well, thank you both for stopping by for what will be part 1 of our favorite Halloween songs. And I've got a couple other Christmas podcasters coming on for part 2. And I will try and come up with a new list so that it's not.
Sounds good.
And thanks again for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Thanks so much for listening, helping me share some Christmas spirit and some Halloween spirit, and for continuing to support the Sounds of Christmas station and podcast. I already told you how to listen to the station, and you're listening to the podcast now, so my work here is just about done. All of our episodes are available on the Sounds of Christmas website. Just click the podcast tab. And we also have a Linktree page that lists most, if not all, of the sites that stream the Sounds of Christmas podcast. So you can click on that, scroll around and find your favorite, then click on over and subscribe, and that way you'll never miss another episode. If you have comments or suggestions on this episode, previous episodes, or the Sounds of Christmas station, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through the website. And if you're listening to this episode on your phone, you can also click the Send Us a Text Message link and connect that way. Thanks again. And may you always believe in Santa Claus and the Great Pumpkin.